I'm Dave McMacken. I'm an illustrator, a designer, a painter, and we are in my studio here, Ratz and Company. It's a gallery and a studio here in Astoria. I started kind of right out of the chute painting for Frank Zappa. I was going about town in LA looking for work, and we found out that he was doing the post work on 200 motels. So we just contacted him and his art director, Cal Schinkel, and showed him our portfolio. They actually made me do a test painting, and I did a painting of Frank, drooling over a champagne glass of some babe, and he really liked it, and gave me the job. 200 Motels was a film and an album cover. It had a Sunset Boulevard billboard, and besides the Mothers of Invention, Ringo Starr is in the movie, Theodore Bickel. From then on, I dealt with Frank only, and he was very hands-on. He wasn't ever negative, he was always positive. His idea was to add more, not take away anything. He liked confusion and chaos as much as I did. I'm just, completely love Overnight Sensation and always did. I just liked the whole process of painting it and the story it told. It, was a front and back cover, an inside spread. Frank and I just worked up this whole visual. He called me up and said, "Yeah, do you want to paint this?" and told me this story. And this is a pretty dirty story that he told me here about these roadies who were having sex with that grapefruit, at the Holiday Inn, because they were just a bunch of horny musicians. That's his manager. There's the roadies eating donuts and lost and lonely. That's the way Frank saw it. It was kind of like trying to figure out what Frank was about, because he was just an odd duck, and he, he could say things out of both sides of his mouth. So you had to, is this a rude and crude piece, or is this a real artistic form of free expression? You were allowed to paint till you were done. And Frank wanted it that way. The record companies wanted it that way. Nowadays, the record companies just deadline, and are pushing on you, and they don't realize they're making a mistake. They should be giving artists more time and more room to express themselves.
Freedom of the body, freedom of the mind.
We looked around from Portland to Bend to Eugene, all over the place, and we liked Astoria the best. It's very picturesque, and it reminded us of San Francisco. I'm kind of like a pelican or penguin. I like the cold weather. All right, a little nature is coming in here, folks. Check this out, guys. We're gonna have a white street in a minute. Be careful! Love it! Oh, look at this. A little ice storm going on. Okay, I just kind of like the old buildings and boats. They have a patina, a look about them. There's something that is just kind of beyond its time. And then the boats in themselves, I like them because they don't talk to me, they hold still. Last year was the 30th anniversary of the Goonies. Chocolate. And this is a painting and a poster that I designed for it, just because there were so many people here. There were about 20,000 people in town for this 4-day event, and Astoria was just completely in chaos. But I had to have something, because the people here were only interested in Goonies. LA was the town, of rock and roll, and You know, where do you work? What kind of a living can you make? And you realize right away that it has something to do with music. It has something to do with the movies. I think this is the first album cover I ever did, and I didn't even know who the Beach Boys were. I listened to their music. I go, oh right, I get it. They're really cool. And then here's a bunch of my other covers: Kansas, Cat Stevens, the Beatles, Weather Report, the Commodores, Bootsy Collins. I worked for Playgirl magazine for a couple of years. My bank always wondered why I was bringing in checks from Playgirl and which issue was I in. I painted Joe Camel for 2 years. I created the Camel sidekicks, Bubba and Buddha and Hoopy and Snoopy. And nowadays, my new clients are marijuana dispensaries. This one is in Arizona, and these are the 2 billboards for Grasshopper Junction. And these are the grasshoppers. They're stoned grasshoppers. This is kind of like just a continuing show. The gallery evolves and things happen. And right now I'm developing my own web store. ratsandcompany.com has just been started. It's just another way of, making this work.
Yeah, well, I panned for golden nuggets through this storm in my brain. Well, I drank from